What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Wisco Madman coming at ya with another reaction video. If you guys haven't already, please be sure to smash that like button down below. Thank you guys for commenting, sharing, and subscribing. As always, hit that sub and flip the notifications over to all. Yeah, boy, getting a little mixed up on the intro this morning. It's been a few recordings, but I think this is going to be the last one I wrap up before I go get some other shit done. Got to work out and whatnot. So we checking out some Up Church. This one's from back in March yet. Getting caught up and whatnot. So this one's Mystery, the Earth, and UFOs Part 2. So let's go ahead and jump up in it.
What is up, Creek Squad? How y'all doing today, baby? So today the video is going to be Mystery of Earth, UFOs, and Ancient Art Part 2. If you haven't seen Part 1, I suggest you go back and watch it so you can follow along with...
I have seen Part 1. If you haven't checked that reaction out yet, be sure to go check it out first.
What we're talking about a little bit better. But besides that, let's get into the video.
Love this new intro, bro.
Alright, so in Part 1, we started off by talking about Earth and UFOs. What is the connection between Earth and UFOs? So when we got to looking, we looked at the 3 most common theories of how Earth is modeled, or what is it we're living on. Then we took a look at the top 3 styles or models of UFOs that are the most talked about. And that's when I realized, holy shit, the rock that we live on and what people think it looks like, and these mysterious vehicles that keep visiting the rock we live on are all the same exact models. For round Earth, you have an orb UFO. For dome Earth, you have the classic dome UFO. For flat Earth with no dome, you have the Tic Tac UFO. They all are modeled exactly the same. But also, now think about the figures or characters or entities that are attached to these two things, Earth and UFOs. What is another term for Earth? Mother Nature. Nature's green. So if Mother Nature was a color, what would she be? She will be green. What's the most common description of an alien that drives a UFO? A little green man. But what's the interesting thing about that? So what drives the Earth to continue on is what? Mother Nature. Okay, so what does...
So before we get too far into this, and people throw them fucking comments in there that are hating on church and shit, or why the fuck are you checking this out? So I like checking out his vlogs in general anyway, and I do particularly like these types of vlogs because he goes into like this open-mindedness, critical thinking type stuff that I really fucking enjoy. I love wonderment, and I think Church has stated that he does too, and that's a big reason why I like doing these vlog reactions and whatnot. Now, that being said, I am skeptical of this, although because it's Church, I am open-minded enough to at least hear him out. Although I highly doubt he's going to change my mind on flat Earth stuff. I'm hearing him. I'm seeing the ideas he comes up with, but I'm not quick to believe it by any means.
This little green man ideally drive that seems in history to be continuing on. Also, I find it funny that even though they're apparently not from here, they just keep continuing on in our nature. Just gonna throw that out there. But anyways, what does the little green man drive? A mothership. If you thought that was the wow factor of this scenario right here, it's not. This is, though. Just like the ideas of Earth and the ideas of UFOs are the same and different. When you get to the end of this little bracket, what is also the same and different about the descriptions of these quote unquote drivers or characters of these UFOs and of Earth? They're chromosomes. One is obviously a female and one is obviously a male. Little green men, Mother Nature. The same and different with their chromosomes. Now your mind's about to go, think about this. When you think of a UFO, what have we been told the most, or what is the first thing that pops in most people's head as the color? Chrome. Now, in order for us to see these chrome objects, what would they have to do? Enter our ozone. Little green man is coming into Mother Nature's ozone. Well, that sounds like reproduction to me. Looks like what when you draw it? The breeding process. If this is the female and this trajectory right here is the male. Hell, what else is in the sky? The sun and the moon. Two other balls. Which is holding what? The chromosomes. Which are needed for reproduction.
God damn it, Church. Why does that feel like such a troll? I'm over here trying to be all open-minded and shit, and then he goes full, like, high school troll on me. I love it. I'm sure he has a point, but my mind just went to the trolling aspect of it.
Producing. What else is needed for reproducing on Earth? The sun and the moon. The reproducing of flowers, plants, fruits, animals, us. Here's the weird thing about the word chromosome. When you sound out chrome-ozone, you get chrome and then ozone, which is 11 letters.
I love this word.
When you spell it out, you get chromosome, which is 11 letters. Both the same, but also different, just like everything else in this whole entire video. Now, to follow along everything we've said in this video, here is something odd about the word chromosome. So if you sound out chromosome, it's 11 letters. If you spell out chromosome, it's 11 letters. Everything that's the exact same, spot for spot, in the sounded out version and the spelled out version is this, and the E, which is the word chrome, just like the UFO that would be entering the ozone. Okay, so now that we matched the letters of the sounded out and spelled out version, character for character, spot.
I'm just shaking my head because, like I said, I love his fucking wordplay, and it's just like, huh, the similarities you see in the world, like. This is why I fold to there's clearly energies, or there's something that makes things relate, that brings everything together. It's interesting.
For spot, and it gave us chrome. Now let's do the exact differences of the sounded out version and the spelled out version. All right, so the exact differences between the sounded out and spelled out version is EOSOZOMO. These characters right here. So check this out. If I use one of these O's as a circle to put the remaining characters in there, the first thing I came up with, some zoo name. So the exact same characters spelled out chrome. The UFO coming to some zoo. What are zoos used for? Reproducing and captivity. And also to help certain species of animal from going extinct, because they are going extinct. Then they use the zoo for other people that have the same animals to bring them there so they can reproduce, so they don't go extinct. So then I thought to myself, I was like, bro, that is too along the lines of everything we've talked about in this video. It's the same but different, once again, just like everything else in the video. So I went back to the exact different characters of the sounded out and spelled out version of chromosome. And I was like, I'm going to do a second one to see what I can come up with next. But since the last one I done was the spelled out exact letters, on this one I'm going to sound it out. Well, when you sound it out and use these characters, the exact characters, by the way, just sound it out. I got Moses, 3 circles. Moses, and then 000. So I was like, okay, 3 circles. That's the newest model of a UFO. The 3 orbs in a triangle formation. So I know what you're thinking. What's that got to do with Moses, right? Well, do you know the story of Moses in the Bible? One of the most popular ones. In the Old Testament, it says that Moses encounters a man named Yahweh, which means God, inside a burning bush. What does that sound like? Once again, that...
I love that he brought that up. Because that also gets... And this is not me relating this to church by any means. Like, I'm not saying he's on drugs or anything, but... One of the things I know that has been spoken about the Bible is this particular story and the connection of psychedelics to the Bible. One version is a basically banned book, or like people fucking hate anybody mentioning this John Allegro book, The Holy Mushroom and the Cross or something like that. I might have that wrong. I'm not sure. But either way, those who know, it's an old book from like the 70s or some shit, or 60s even. But either way, point is, what do we know about the area in which that story was portrayed? Well, apparently there's a bush that people often used to get high in spiritual aspects. Thus, the burning bush, and said bush has what in it? DMT, which also happens to be a chemical that I guess your brain produces, but I'm still learning about all this shit. Either way, I found it really interesting that we talk about psychedelics are bad, but yet what most of our leaders are following, this Christianity, this book called the Bible, has stories in it that are directly related to psychedelics. I know that's probably going to offend a lot of people, and I'm sure I'll catch some hate on that one. And my memory don't always serve me perfectly. I do know Bush, from that area, DMT. Those are the facts that I know were specifically stated about that. You can say what you want. I'm just an internet idiot. It's fine. But I find that interesting.
It sounds like another UFO model that is being talked about and people are quote unquote filming on the internet, like in the past month. So, in the Bible...
That's another thing too. Like, I spend so much time doing other shit. Like, I'll watch once in a blue moon, like some YouTube stuff, right, outside of reacting and whatnot. I like almost never watch TikTok. I have it for professional reasons, and once in a while I get lost in a scroll for sure. But I really don't watch social media, so that's another thing other than I'm watching it right now. You get what I mean? That's another reason why I like checking out Church's vlogs, because he brings some things that he finds interesting to us, you know? So, kind of an interesting way to learn about things, I suppose, I guess is the best way I can say it. Being that I don't highly participate in the whole social media thing.
This burning bush that was a guy named Yahweh who came and had an encounter with Moses. What did Yahweh, or God, help Moses do? He helped Israelite slaves escape from Egypt. What was slavery used for? Breeding, reproduction. And they treated slaves like what? Zoo animals. And there you go. So that means everything we mentioned in this entire video is essentially exactly the same. So you gotta ask yourself, what does that mean? Well, it could mean a few things. It could mean that our existence is something way greater and better than we know. That is controlled by us, the brains walking around the world, to a way different level that most people can't understand. The thought of aliens and stuff may have been created off of God's prior idea and used to scare humans into thinking they're not protected. Because if you think you're not protected, maybe you're actually not. And if you think you are, then maybe you actually are. Once again, to an extent or level that most don't even know about. Maybe it's way simpler than you think. Which is why they want you to think it's so complex. Because it's not complex at all.
Or some of us don't think enough to understand the complexity, really.
Perfect timing. Church bells right at the end of the video, baby. But hey, I don't know. You tell me what you think. If you want a part 3, let your boy know. See you terrestrials and extraterrestrials tomorrow.
Yeah, dude. I think it's a dope curiosity to play with, for sure. I've always... Wow. Let me restate. I'm not going to say it that way. I have come in recent years to open my eyes to more and more things. I've always been a curious type person, a wonderment type person, as we discussed. But as the years go by, I find more and more that I just don't believe what I've been taught, or that there's slight variations to what I understood from what I was taught. To the extent that I feel like a lot of things that I learned growing up outside the basics, mathematics and whatnot, were put there for manipulative purposes, or put there specifically to act like we're experts on something, or that the human race knows more than we actually know. The older I get, the less I believe the human race actually knows, because I realize how much we don't. Because I go, well, why this? Well, why that? And then you search, and it's like, they haven't studied this. Or if they have, they haven't come to an actual conclusion. Or there's a whole nother one, like some of it is, they've studied it, they've come to their conclusion, and then you look at it and it's like, that don't make sense. And then there's other shit that some other person said, hey, that don't make sense. And then they never fucking believed that person until well after they're fucking dead. Oh, by the way, he was right. No shit, Sherlock. And that's happened multiple times. So my point is, I think history repeats itself. I do think things are far bigger than we ever possibly imagine. And I think it's possible for us to comprehend it, but we have to be open-minded enough to realize that question everything, man. Even question what church is saying here. Question what I'm saying. Question things, wonder about stuff, explore thoughts. Because that's the only way that we actually learn, dude. Like, I hate when people say, you can't question that. We already know. Well, history's fucking proof that that's not necessarily true. I mean, fuck. That's just it. But it's yeah. I could go on I really could on flat Earth and a whole bunch of other stuff. And if you guys are curious on my thoughts on that, sure, fine. Throw it in the comments, and maybe I can make some sort of video. I don't fucking know. But I digress. I will say, let's just go ahead and close this out. If you guys like this reaction video, go ahead and smash that like button down below. Thank you guys for commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Be sure to check out Upface's page down in the description below if you haven't already. If you're not already subbed up, be sure to check them out. I really do, really do appreciate y'all being here. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.